Oscar Von Dutch, how long is it?
Oh, I think 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
Oh, nice. Apple,
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes 13.
huge. 360?
Ooh, believe it or not, it's a shorter one. It's a 2 minutes 59.
I believe it. Hudson Hawk's having a bright summer.
We're so topical. Hey guys, check out Chapel Roan, the newest artist to bleed into your earways. No more Taylor Swift. That's right, Sabrina Carpenter's come at you quick. These are Who Would Watch These boys are in with the zeitgeist. My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And
This is Who Would Watch This. We're all a lime green, or I don't know what green the cover is. What Pantone is that?
It's like CF427. Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Hudson Hawk, which currently has a 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.7 on IMDb, and a 2.8 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
I won't read the one-sentence one because it doesn't do it justice. Eddie Hawkins, called Hudson Hawk, has just been released from 10 years in prison and is planning to spend the rest of his life honestly. But then the crazy Mayflower couple blackmail him to steal some of the works of Leonardo da Vinci. If he refuses, they threaten to kill his friend I've been calling him Tony. Maybe it's Tommy. Maybe it's Tommy. Wow, Carl. Thoughts?
I assumed everybody in the movie was just called Tommy.
Yeah.
That would have been an even better gag if they were like, everyone's called Tommy. Like even Andy McDowell.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think it would have sorted the tone out. Carl, before we even jump into this little one, what are we doing?
Are we going to go back to before we'd seen the film and
Yes.
try to predict who we thought would watch it?
Yes.
Is it that?
Yes.
Are we going to throw back to that?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay. Oscar, we got recommended a film to do next week from someone on our Instagram account.
Oh my
So, you can
God.
reach us out through that.
Yeah.
And you can always recommend a movie to us via our email address. Which
Email
is,
address. I think we have a TikTok messaging system. I
you
don't
can,
know.
It's really, you can just find us.
Here's my personal email. It's in the show notes. That's just for you, huh?
If you do want to send us a movie recommendation, you can email us at www.podcast@gmail.com.
Ask www.podcast@gmail.com.
I can never remember.
You're a
I
fool.
can
You're
never
a fool.
remember.
And that's why we got littered of no. Some people are sending all the messages to the not to the Who Would Watch This, and it's the Ask one. It's the Ask one. Come on.
I think simply walk outside and say what you watched.
Cry to the heavens, and we'll hear.
Cry. Just cry.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody reached out. I'm not going to get them doxxed with their username, but they said, "Hi, I'm such a huge fan of your show. I'd love to suggest Hudson Hawk. I'm sure you have a whole list of terrible movies to watch, but this should be near the top of that list. It's my favorite bad movie." And I responded, "Sure."
Gotcha.
And we're doing it.
Here's the
and
thing.
that's us now.
Oh, exactly. That's pretty much how things happen. Carl, have you seen, heard, or do you think about Hudson Hawk?
I have heard of Hudson Hawk. I know that is meant to be bad. I believe it is a
sleuths.
musical.
We're sleuths. We know. We've got the power of Google at our fingertips.
That's right. It's definitely not like zeitgeisty bad, but
No.
like I've seen it just pop up in podcasts and lists and
Yes.
stuff. And my understanding is that it is a musical, I guess. I don't know the truth of the matter, but that's my knowledge that it is a musical about a heist
We've done
man.
a musical? I don't think we've done a musical, really.
Yeah, many.
Oh, many? Okay. Oh, yeah, all those ones. Oh, yeah.
So many.
Yeah, damn.
I reckon our ratio at the moment's 1 to 4. One normal, 1 to 4 musicals.
You guys can check out our other podcasts. I'll be honest, we are exhausted. All we do is watch Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
Yeah. In fact, this year we did 3 back-to-back. We did all the High School Musicals. They have musical in their name. Remember Strange Magic? We haven't stopped
We
doing
haven't
musicals.
stopped, damn. All I know about this one is that Bruce Willis is wearing a hat on the poster. That was the selling point, and it won a Razzie in 1991. That's all I
What
know.
did it win the Razzie for? Do we know?
I think worst film.
Sorry?
I think worst film.
I thought it might have been Best Hat.
Or best hawk, It's a fun,
would have been great.
It's a fun title. Doesn't tell you much. Doesn't tell you much.
Best movie named after an American river?
Oh, Hawk?
Hudson.
Oh,
Wait, which one did Sully do?
he did the Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk
Yeah.
River?
He flew down like a hawk.
Like a hawk.
That's why Steven Spielberg was like, we need to make this. Or Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
An old man made Sully.
He was like, should I make Mule or Sully? And he was like, both. I'll make both.
Carl, who do you think's going to watch Hudson Hawk?
God, I really don't know much about it. I'm going to say if you are a fan of Bruce Willis in comedies, this is probably going to be one for you.
I guess if you've just finished Moonrise Kingdom and you got a bit of Wes in you think, wow, I really like this vibe. I would just like a lot more of the Bruce Willis character, and maybe not as 2D. I don't know what, maybe Hudson Hawk's...
I just think
maybe Wes ripped off everything from Hudson Hawk. I don't know.
Feel like it's going to be like, it's Bruce Willis doing his shtick from like when he was on like Moonlighting or whatever his sitcom was. Or Look Who's Talking when he was the baby, like those two feature presentations.
Yeah.
If you enjoy either of them, I assume they've greenlit Hudson Hawk off the back of people's enjoyment of
That
those
big
two
Venn
projects.
diagram. Yes, no, fair enough.
For sure.
I think we got it. I think we smashed it.
Yeah, easy. Oh, okay, so you're just stealing mine then.
No, I'm saying Wes Anderson fans.
Wes Anderson.
If you want to see where it all came
based
from,
on what?
He's in Wes Anderson. He's in Moonrise Kingdom. I'm sure Wes was like, "Damn, you know what? I'm just gonna remake Hudson Hawk, but in my signature style."
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Do you reckon you're gonna like it? Because I've never. It's been a while since we've done a movie I just have not flat out seen or know a lot about. So I'm excited about going in.
I'm pretty keen to go
something.
blind. Yeah.
But I can tell. I think visually from the poster and his hat. This ain't for
The
me.
hat's vague, isn't it? You really can't get a read on the guy. It's the hat of it all.
It's crazy that they knew the only marketability they had was Bruce Willis, and he was clearly at such a later stage of balding. They were like, he's got to have a hat on the poster.
How we feeling?
I'm feeling mixed.
Yes.
I think I'm feeling like I've seen a movie that scrapes at greatness and doesn't know how to maintain it for more than a few minutes here and there.
Yeah. It's a cruel trick that I can see parts of this. Absolutely. I love a lot of this, except it as a film.
Yeah. There's some real moments of like this like eccentric or surrealist or goofy comedy.
Yeah.
And it's just not, I gotta tell you.
It's not hitting.
I gotta tell you, it feels like it's a spoof movie, right?
Yeah.
But everyone's playing it straight,
Yes.
apart from Richard E. Grant and occasionally Bruce Willis. But nobody else is giving like.
I think everyone else is. It's this weird thing where it's almost like, let's do a spoof film, but for seriousness.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was a joke, but said so monotone.
Yeah.
And so
But it's like
without
deadpan.
any.
They've kind of gone, all right, someone Google comedy, and they've gone, all right, we've got, black humor, we've got sort of surrealism, let's just do it all in every scene and see what hits.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I like a lot, but except for everything, if that makes sense.
It reminded me of when we did the Avengers.
I'll be honest, it also reminded me of Megalopolis, because I think Megalopolis is
If Megalopolis was as funny as this movie, Megalopolis would be a hit.
I think so. I think I was more like, what is going on? And that was like nervous laughter. This one, it's not going for a joke. And then that's almost the funny of it. So I was just like, oh, I think that was a joke, but it was just a wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
And you're sort of left in a cold...
It's frankly nonsense. It's frankly 90 minutes of nonsense. Like, and it knows it's nonsense, so you can't really get upset at it.
But it starts pretty like...
It starts like it's not nonsense.
No.
And that's what was weird.
It's like, what's a crab like in a boiling pot of water? It kind of starts like Bruce Willis is getting out of jail and he's got one last job to do. And it just, by the end, you're on fire. And you're like, well, we started off cool, so I guess this is pretty chill.
Absolutely. And by the end, it's like at the beginning, you're just like, just this area I hate, it just smells of like salted crab in boiling water. But like 90 minutes later, when it's really boiling, you're like, oh my God, is somebody cooking crab?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That smells delicious.
God.
I'll cut of that.
I'll jump in right now and like, sorry, we threw the crab out the window. I'm so sorry. That was the vibe. Carl, did we get into Hudson Hawk?
Yeah, let's get into it. So it starts as a fairy book. With narration.
Does this come back?
Sorry?
It doesn't come back at all.
It doesn't come... No, it does.
Okay.
And it fucking slapped when it did. It was one of those things where this is... I'm going to tell you right now, I think I'm going to obviously trash talk a lot of the movie up to a point. I have no notes for the final 20 minutes, which I think is the culminative. The movie knows what it's doing and it's going to a point. And nothing is funnier to me than when they paid off this fairy book.
Yes.
And it was like... And that was like, and that's the last page of the fairy book, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot how long ago this film started." I was shocked that we're starting here. I love that the narration is reading a fairy book, but flat out paraphrasing. Just being like, whatever.
You know this story.
Yeah.
You know this one. God, it's fun.
Until Bruce Willis's name came up in the credits, I believed I was watching the wrong film.
I think so, right? And that Hudson Hawk in the cursive writing, it's quite gorgeous.
Well, it was just.
I just watched like Monty Python. I felt as though it was just doing a Monty Python sort of book reading.
Because I was like, really, we're just starting back in the times of Da Vinci.
It really doesn't hold your hand either. It's not even
doesn't.
like a little placard, just like, nope, you figure out the context clues, that's Da Vinci. In a very odd makeup.
And then you're like, okay, well, we'll just be here for a short moment. And the moment just keeps going.
It's a long moment. They're taking their time.
They get you to really care about Da Vinci.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was on his side. I liked, I guess the first joke is that the Mona Lisa's been painting. She has bad teeth. I think he's like, well, that's
good fun.
That's good fun.
Yeah.
But
Did I laugh? No.
No.
Good fun, though?
That's most of the jokes, though. That's most of the
Yeah.
jokes. Just like, okay, yeah. We should go into the backstory real quickly. Bruce Willis kind of wrote this and kind of directed it, and it seemed like the vibe was each day they were kind of like, let's make a spoof movie. No, let's make a James Bond movie. No, let's make something real.
Yeah.
Let's make something good.
I think
Back to Pink Panther.
I think that's the decision it needs to make. It needs to decide if it is doing spoof, doing Pink Panther, or doing like comedy heist.
Yeah.
But it's doing all of them randomly, and it's never letting you know until the scene's ended that you were like, oh, that was the tone of that scene. I would have been so much more in if it was set up. Like
We should get into it. So anyway, the old-timey thing, we established that Da Vinci has these 3 little diamond crystals.
Yeah.
They turn lead into gold.
incredible stuff. And you go, that's all the information I need to learn here. He's like, no, there's more to learn. Let's walk out and have a look at what flying things I've been building.
Yeah.
It feels like they had to go and shoot this because they wrote at the end that that's just how they got out of the situation.
Yeah.
I actually think it would have been more in tone with the movie if they just didn't explain where that came from.
It's weird for them to be like, oh god, the one note was they were like, where'd that flying thing come from? I think we'll fix that, and then we've got ourselves Citizen Kane. We get introduced to Hudson Hawk. He's out of prison, Carl. It's been 10 years. He robbed something, he pickpocketed something, and he's done his time though. He's back, he's out.
He's back in amongst the birds.
Yes.
I thought there was going to be more hawks. Flat out thought we'd have more hawks.
It's a fun transition of like, I feel like Da Vinci's like flying, then it's a hawk. The hawks are out of it.
Yeah.
How do you get this name?
Hudson Hawk.
Yes.
I don't know. Wearing that hat.
I guess so. It does scream Hudson Hawk.
It does.
Yeah.
He's so famous, so intensely famous within the context of the movie that you think that potentially he might have never gotten out of prison.
On account of his crimes.
Yeah, on account of being so famous.
That's infamy, Carl. You think about OJ, he got out still, but he was very famous.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
That's not how jail works. Fame isn't dictated on how long you have to stay there. We get introduced to his friend Tommy. Now, don't worry, Tommy's going to be in the film, and then going to leave the film.
I love Tommy
Yeah.
because I got to tell you, him and Bruce Willis, they have no chemistry together. They have none.
They are bickering in this Italian accent for the entire film, and I don't think it works, and yet it kind of does. It fits a tone.
It does. It was the
does set
entire
the-
time.
yeah.
I was like, if these two people, it's weird because it's like I think you can tell Bruce Willis is giving his all, but he's not giving the right stuff. And then the actor they've got for Tommy's also not working. So when they bicker, you're just sort of like, you and your snappy comments. Like Tommy's just like, why do you want one of those like feminine coffees from Europe, you masculine bitch?
Yeah,
and
and
they're
then
just like
Bruce
okay.
Willis is like, you're fucking fat as well. You've gotten fat.
Yeah.
God, you're hideous. I wouldn't fuck you with a 10-foot pole. And then we're like, well, let's go steal some goddamn
Yeah, and
artifacts.
then they're just like, we're together, baby. And you're like, okay, sure, I guess.
Again, the tone has been set. We're stealing a horse.
It's tough because it's sometimes they're verbally saying something that's funny and I just am confused by it.
Yeah.
Or they're showing something visually. I think I'll say for the most part, I think the visual gags work better than their like interactive gags.
I think
or their
so.
dialogue heavy
I think the
gags.
actual only ones that really do is Richard D. Grant. I do think that English butler nails every line.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I think they work.
Yes.
But I just wish that the movie had gone full spoof.
Yeah.
It feels so held back at not wanting to go full spoof, like Aeroplane or Austin Powers.
Yes.
And I'm like, just do
They're
it.
kind of doing Austin Powers because they're doing essentially James Bond
Yeah.
in the 90s.
I think they eventually get there.
Yeah.
But it's weird that it's not so off the bat OTT.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's funny because when you sit back, you go, I guess opening in a fairy tale book and then spending a lot of time with Da Vinci feels
It does feel spoofy.
spoofy, but it wasn't given to me spoofy.
No, because saying it out loud, I feel insane. Because then a couple of gangsters show up and go, "Hey, Hudson, you're gonna go steal the Da Vinci, huh?
Every
We're
character,
gonna kill Tommy." It's Stallone. It's Frankie Stallone.
Every single character immediately is just like, you've got to do a job.
Are we stupid? I mean, now I'm thinking about it. Every single character on screen is insane.
Oh, they are. Like, everybody's a heightened character, but there's too many characters. Here's the thing that I couldn't follow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who anyone is that isn't Bruce Willis or Andy McDowell.
No.
I even thought Tommy was many other people throughout the
Oh,
movie.
100%. But that's your racism speaking. That's your Italian-American racism speaking. However, they all do speak in a funny accent in this film.
Everybody's got a heightened accent. Nobody's talking the way people talk.
Yeah, so they're sent to steal this horse for Da Vinci.
Yeah.
The mafia guys are like, you're going to do that. That's what you're going to do. They start stealing it. They're singing a song in tune because that's how they do a timer. So instead of syncing watches.
So I thought there was going to be a lot more music.
Me too.
Because when they started singing, I was very much like, okay, odd, but all right.
Odd.
Yeah.
And I think I was in. I was a bit like, damn, Bruce has got some pipes on him.
Yeah.
Pipes on him. It worked. What were we thinking?
It didn't not work.
Yeah.
But it didn't not work.
Yes. I think that's most of this film. It's just like they stumbled, they did a little flip, and then they kind of pooed themselves. And you kind of go, I was meaning to do that. And you kind of go, well, I guess you nailed that.
If you could see me watching the movie, it's me looking very constipated.
Yeah.
Because I'm just confused. I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm vibing
I'm nodding occasionally, and I'm like, that's okay. And then suddenly I just don't know what's going on.
No.
Or how to follow what's going on.
No.
It's just nonsense being punched into my face because there's so many characters.
Yeah.
I like the idea that that's how they time their jobs is by
Yes.
singing. I do find it hysterical that I guess you can't get upset at it because it's a spoof movie, but you're also just like, at one stage, Tommy's bowing out his lungs, and
Yeah.
you're like, I think they know you're robbing them.
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's wearing the comedy hat of just like, you can't shit on us, we're a comedy.
Yeah.
But then it hasn't got the jokes to back it up. But then it has like the wackiest sound effects I've ever heard.
Oh, the biggest laugh I gave the movie was when two heads went together and it was the sound of coconuts.
Oh, I've written the coconut thing. Coconut sound effect. That's comedy gold.
Yeah.
But again, they're sort of going, but aren't we serious?
They've left it too long.
Yeah.
That is the thing is, I think they left the sound effects and like the goofiness to 25 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
No. Needed to be way earlier for us to like get on board. That's why it needs to come out so energetic and over the top so it sets the tone.
Yeah, you got a slow Da Vinci scene and then a slow jail scene. And then we're kind of showed this prison scene, the breaking, stealing the horse, which is kind of pretty tame in terms of what happens.
That's right. But it's not until you do the break-in scene that you start to actually understand what they're going to start trying to do.
Yeah.
And so it means for the first 15 minutes when you were like giving it all of the time it needed to be a serious movie with like a slight sense of comedy to it, you're like, oh, it was even more over the top, I guess, than I was taking it.
Yes.
Because I wasn't given the cue of taking it like that.
No, because then, for instance, they steal the horse, they get back, the mafia guy's like, you did well, buddy. The butler comes in. We're like, who the hell's this butler guy? We get a POV. He has a hand knife. Stunning visual. The camera is attached to his knife. We see him cut the mafia leader's head off. I'm in the film right now.
I loved it. He goes, where's my cut?
Yeah.
He's like, here's your cut.
Every single butler line works immensely.
I'm going to tell you, I've got a lot written through my notes where I've got exclamation points and I've gone, I'm in. And then maybe 3 lines down on my notes again, it's just, I'm out.
Well, I think that's exactly, I'm like, I'm back in. I think because every scene not goes on longer than it needs to, but I think goes on and then kind of blurs into the next scene. You're like, oh, I think, where are we? Well, I'm confused.
It felt like I was being punched a lot.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was in a blender.
Yeah.
And I was just being thrown around.
And you've been let out. You're like, oh, wow, my juice now? They're like, yes, and here's a lemon. And they get back in the blender. You're like, whoa, citrus.
It's
I'm
like-
kind of vibing citrus, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then they're just like, it's a lot of sriracha
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
I guess it's a spicy margarita, and you were like, but we were making an omelet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And I like a spicy margarita, but I was promised breakfast.
I know. Now just give me some chives and I'll be on my way. And then they're like, here's your chives. And you're like, that's just a lot of spring onion.
Which goes well in either.
It goes well in either.
That's the
They've
pro
gone,
spring.
take your shallot.
Do we get shallots here in Australia? We do, but like I don't see them.
No, you
know.
don't. They're confusingly over there with the onion.
Okay.
And then you're like, you grab the bottom of it. And you're like,
I just feel like a small onion is the same as a shallot.
that's what I reckon.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's not.
I don't want to know it's not.
Don't tell
think
me it's
that's-
not.
I maybe it's got a different flavor profile, but for like my budget, it's the same, right?
I know. Isn't there meant to be a good site called like The Onion that helps differentiate those?
That's pretty much his main, yeah.
Yeah, is that just like, oh, it's a spoof site?
Damn, thank God they addressed that very clearly.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Instead of waiting 15
That's what it
minutes.
feels like. If you haven't seen Hudson Hawk, that's what it feels like, what we just did. And you go, whoa, did I enjoy that? And the answer's no. But vaguely tomorrow you'll be like, wait, did I watch
That
something?
was pretty good.
No,
That
you
was-
won't think that.
Oh, just what have I? What did I spend my life with?
What did I do yesterday? I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
I gave 90 minutes to Netflix.
It seems like you have amnesia, buddy. I think things aren't going right for you.
What?
Andy McDowell's here, and she's auctioning off the horse. I don't know what her role is. I guess she's the expert on this horse, or Da Vinci,
Yeah.
or artifacts.
She gets up and she looks at that horse and she goes, that is a horse.
That's the horse. And the auctioneer goes, yes!
Yes.
20 million! We get introduced now to Richard E. Grant, who is, I think, always fantastic in every film he's in, or TV show, and he walks in, goes, bam! 100 million. God, I love... This is the tone I'm loving. I'm loving this tone. Because he rocks up. He's also got his wife there.
She bets 101 million?
Yeah. It's real fun. Then the horse explodes and they duck. I'm in the film. I'm 100% in. And when the film goes, all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, we get this whole ambulance chase.
Yes.
And I'm not... Hudson Hawk keeps on getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And it's just the weirdest way to transition into another scene.
I think the bit is, again, they just don't do it enough. Because they also do this bit that I love, is where they'll transition, Hudson Hawk will fall into like, I don't know, like a ceiling,
Yeah.
and then fall down in the next scene. But like, I was always here. All
Yeah.
right, let's go. Let's party on. This bridge scene is fun. It is, I guess that's not the tone. He says he sees a sign that says avoid toll. He's like, shit, don't take the toll road. That is funny.
Yeah.
I like it. Again, it is just a bit like, wow, there's so much has happened.
It also, this is the point where, because when he comes out of the ambulance,
Yeah.
and it's fun when somebody's like, I think you're going to die.
Yeah.
This is where I went, how did this movie get so much money?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I thought this movie was going to be a lot cheaper, and it looks like it keeps getting more money as it goes along.
It's pretty.
And
It seems like that's what happened. It seems like they were rolling up and just like sticking with more money. Just
yeah.
like, okay, cool.
I was like, where is the income coming from? Because this movie shouldn't have the budget to do some of the things that it does.
Was Bruce Willis? What was he doing in the early 90s? He had just had Die Hard and Die Hard 2. What else did he have behind him?
So he would have come off of his show, done Die Hard, done Look Who's Talking,
Yep.
done Die Hard 2, done Look Who's Talking 2. And then he's just sort of straight into Hudson Hawk.
Okay.
And then it's like, and then he gets like The Last Boy Scout and Death Becomes Her. And you know what? Death Becomes Her is more like that is a goofy tone.
Yeah.
While not like sort of being a spoof movie.
Yes.
That's the tone this movie needs.
It's the pendulum keeps swinging it there, and by the end, I think they're just like, well, this is just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
So we can't not do this. Not even a spoof, just silly.
Yeah.
Which I quite like. I like the
Yeah.
silly vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know how they've gotten here. I don't know what tone it is, but I love it.
Now, I love one of the things that Hudson Hawk wants is he wants a cappuccino.
Yeah.
I just want to call something out.
Yeah.
When did we stop building like coffee machines like they were submarines?
What do you mean?
Like they're giant gold bolted together. Like,
Which cafes are you going to? You talking like a cafe?
yeah, like when did they stop being tall and start being like wide?
Oh, I think
Like, you know how in this movie he's like behind the bar and he's making it into the old fashioned.
Yes.
When did that change?
I think the
Because
wideness.
that looks great.
I think the wideness is back. No, I think the wideness has always been there. I don't know what the top is for. I think you're getting confused. I think you're just raised coffee machine.
No, this is the
Let me have a look.
like that. That's the coffee machine.
Okay, wow. Okay, you know what? You're right. That is quite obtuse. I think it's just for decoration.
I know, but you see that.
You've seen that?
That's the one in Friends and stuff.
Shit, really?
And I'm like, so when did we stop building them like that?
Damn. Okay. Well, maybe I'm not familiar with that. That is quite an extension.
Look at it. It's so much taller than Bruce Willis.
Can I say something quite crazy? This is a bit of a flex. I've been to Italy, and you know what? This lovely place that did dollar espressos did have a machine very tall like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Oh, so now you remember those machines exist.
Well, now I just thought you were talking about a fat espresso machine. I'm like, buddy, I've seen a fat tall espresso machine all days. No, I thought you just like it was placing some books or something. No, that is okay. That's large. I have seen that. I don't know what technology it does, but I think it must be doing something good. I'm all about it.
I mean, but it's like, have we removed a part of coffee by it not being that big?
I think, you know what? That does look a bit steam powered, and I think technology has improved.
It looks fresh out of a Jules Verne novel.
It does look ridiculous.
Like they were reading it and they were just like, in 40,000 Leagues Under the Sea, they had espresso down there.
Well, how do you think they stayed up? It's always dark down there.
That's how they survived the octopi attacking.
Yeah. I don't know enough about that story, but I'll play ball. I'll play ball.
Squid.
Okay.
Captain Nemo.
Freaked out. Okay.
Head of the ship.
I'm freaking out. Carl, we're on this goddamn bridge. Things go awry. The ambulance blows up. Don't worry. Frankie Stallone's dead, and so's the mafia. Well, guess what? I guess all our problems are fine. Hudson's chill. No. 5 people rock up. They all have chocolate bar names.
I love this.
You love this?
Huh? You got Kit Kat. You got Malteser, maybe.
You got Butterfingers. You got Almond Joy. I would love to have an Almond Joy. I've never had one, but I think
they're weak. They're weak sauce.
I think they'd be nice, like a bounty. I think they would be nice. You a bounty man?
I reckon I'm not going straight to a bounty in a favorites box.
No,
I'll eat one.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, I ate everything else, but I left bounties, cherry ripes, and Turkish delights at the bottom, I'd be like, cool. I'll eat the bounties and the cherry ripes.
Damn, I do like a Turkish delight.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
why?
Man. I think, well, listen, it's not even, it's just, you should have it now. It's just a sugar gel. It's just jelly, essentially, and chocolate.
Gross.
Pretty great. Gross. Anyway, chocolate, this team is here. I gotta tell you, I think functionally as the film, and we're going through that lens, get rid of these people.
I don't get what's going on.
No.
I don't get why they're here to die.
No.
Like, they all just slowly are picked off. I don't get what his relationship is to them.
Well, he, apparently Mr. Chocolate was like, hey, I set you up 10 years ago. That's why you're in prison. I don't know what they're doing.
No.
I don't know what they're doing. I'll be honest, I'm lost for most of the half of the film. It's
nonsense.
It is nonsense.
It's just throwing you about.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because anytime you're like, okay, I'm going to try and concentrate as to what's going on. And they're just like, while you've had that thought, they're like, 3 scenes went by. 2 of the characters you knew are dead. Another 2 are in that look very similar because all they've hired is old white men and all their faces have sagged in the exact same way.
And by doing this accent, that is just Mario. It is just Mario. But God, it sells.
Now, I'm going to have to say something confronting for the listener. I did not get to see the middle of the film. Circumstances occurred, time pressures have happened, and I did not get to see the middle of the film.
This was upsetting and shocking, and here at Who Would Watch This, we don't like this.
I do not mean to disrespect the listener that asked us to watch it. I would have loved to have watched the middle of the film, but it was the decision between just not having an episode at all this week or just recording another 30 minutes later. And let's just say...
I gotta tell you, like a rock and a hard place, except that rock was way more tempting.
It was much... Here's the thing. Did I take the easy way out? Absolutely. Will I apologize for it? No. Oscar will now explain to me what happened in the middle, and then I will regroup. Well, actually, here's because this is where we re-enter, right? I pause this movie... He's meeting a bunch of chocolate bars. And I go, great, can't wait to see what's happened. when I get to restart this film, there's Andy McDowell's a nun, and she's confessing to a man, and everybody's in Rome now, and they don't leave Rome. And so I went, how did we get here? And you were going to explain it to me, and we thought we'd save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
But I have no tangible understanding as to what I missed. However, the movie made complete sense, not knowing anyway. So let me know what occurred.
It's pretty cracked. So there's the 5 chocolate guys. They hit him in the head, and we wake up in Rome.
You're shocked. He gets knocked out again. Who would have foreseen this coming for that character?
You've seen the first 40 minutes, and I gotta tell you, he gets knocked out, tranquilized about 7 different times,
Yeah.
Carl. I'll be honest, I'm a mess.
It's a massive vibe of Bruce Willis being like, this movie's not working. Knock me out.
At the end of each day, listen, here's how... I just think if you're making a film, you should always have an exit strategy to a scene. And I think Bruce Willis heard that and went, great, just knock me out at the end of each scene and we'll see if it cuts together.
And we'll just-
the editor was like, shit, all we've got is this and no scenes end. I need to keep going back to this well. Crap. Carl, we're in Richard E. Grant's evil lair. It is a vibe.
Oh, okay. Hit
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Wow, I'll be honest, I did not, you know what, having to say this out loud, I don't know, now I feel like I'm the film, because essentially, Richard E. Grant's like, right, you work for me, also a dog sucks off Bruce Willis, and yes.
Really?
Just sort of goes
The dog from the end that they kill?
yeah,
Huge.
he goes for his crotch, he sort of gives a wiggle, and Bruce Willis is like, "Har."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. What a choice.
it is a choice.
For the middle of the film.
Yeah,
when
Richard E-
people are most invested.
Well, of course, you would say so itself.
Of course. That's why I decided to skip it.
Richard E. Grant's vibe, I do love his lair. It is just so Dr. Evil, though. It's like he's got like a massive Italian building with a bunch of black windows. He's got a massive table that's shaped like an M. I think their last name is Marigold or something. And then he's got a bunch of like minions on either side, and he's just dancing around the table, and they keep clapping him every single time he does something.
Oh.
It is a vibe, and I'm totally in on the film. They send him to steal the Declaration of Independence, the Da Vinci's book.
Yeah.
It has a crystal in it, but they don't know that yet.
Yeah, this is because they've been stealing all of the crystals that make the gold, right? That's okay.
Yeah. Andy McDowell is also now in Rome. She's a tour guide. And he's pretty much, and Bruce Willis is like, well, I know I've got to steal this book, but you know what? Can we fuck? Can we fuck aggressively? And she's like, I've got a tour guide. A little child throws a little bear at the book. Big cage come down. Mousetrap style, okay? Mousetrap. And Bruce Willis is like, that's odd. Guards come in, swarming. They just immediately start gassing this thing. It's an interesting way to secure something. And he's like, all right, let's go down to the catacombs. We'll chill out there. She goes, right, Bruce, well, what's the vibe? You want to go on a date? He's like, yeah, I'll go on a date. I'm not doing anything except try not to get killed. She then goes, right, see you off. That's chill. I think Annie's a chill character. She then goes, while we're in the catacombs, like this sort of mine, Bruce goes off. She then turns to the right. There's a Jesus cross, and it starts blaring, and she goes, I'll come to the Vatican. She's a double-crossing nun spy. Carl, are you in? Where do you want to combine? Do you want to try and connect the dots?
Oh, is that where we got to?
No. I've got way more.
Oh, okay. So she's a nun who works for the Vatican. So I assume she's almost like is she like from the Da Vinci Code? Like, you know, when the guys are like, it's our job to protect you finding the thing.
Yes. I guess they must be. I guess
Yeah.
the Vatican must be very much tied to Da Vinci and his secrets.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's...
Massive Da Vinci Code vibe. Do we think Dan Brown watched this and was like, if that was taken dead seriously, it would be a hit?
I think so. He was like, I can make 3 of those. It's all around Vatican. I think I could make that.
Yeah.
None of this bullshit in Hudson
Tom Hanks
Hawk.
will have a mullet.
I like he's like, well, they've got to have a bit of wacky hair. I got to go back to my Hudson Hawk roots. Carl, it's...
Him sitting there being like, the weird hair that he has is a head nod to Hudson Hawk. Thank you for watching.
Does he get a little speech at the end of the film? Dan Brown's like, let me do a little chat at the end of the little chat.
Everybody, please stay around for the end of Angels and Demons. Dan Brown will sit for a little chat.
The chocolate...
Where'd the audience go?
What?
This
Okay.
is one of the better ones.
Inferno, that's right.
Huh? You want me to do Inferno? I'll chat at the end of Inferno. I can't sit through Inferno. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta tap out of the
Dan
chat.
pulls a gun out. He's like, all right, it's me or him. Why is the Vatican so tied to Da Vinci? I guess I'm going off Assassin's Creed information. I think they were at the same time, and I guess they chatted. But it is funny they've intertwined so much.
Yeah, I just assume Jesus and Da Vinci
Were tight.
They were a tight group.
Oh, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they fist bump a lot. They probably play a lot of 3-on-3 b-ball.
Oh, yeah.
The Olympics are on. I have been watching a
They
bit of
might
the
play
Olympics.
table tennis. That's right. On the Last Supper, that's a long table for table tennis.
You know, when he rested for 3 days, he was actually spelunking. Just doing a little bit of speed climbing in that cave.
Okay. We do get introduced to the Chocolate Five again. They're in the middle of Rome. It looks great.
The movie's got money.
Yeah.
They
shut down Rome.
It's disgusting. It's got money. $80 million 1991. Do we think this is like $120 million today?
Maybe more. It probably actually
Rough.
is more. And there's a quiet, like, the budget kept inflating. It did make like $90 million overseas. I do love films like this. Is like won a Razzie, like Dreadful. What a lovely film economy that this was just like a $90 million darling.
Well, yeah, it's like back in the day, they just weren't like.
They did well. They were like, Bruce Willis will sell it. And he did.
Yeah. It would be one of those things where once you get like a star attached, you've probably got a pretty good idea of at least if the movie can kick off how much you could make in certain destinations because of the star. So, especially during the 90s when people actually cared about their stars. But yeah, just crazy to me they spent this money on this. I miss the days when it was like 2012 could open at the box office and make like $840 million.
Of course, we were spooked. What was going to happen on that date?
The Mayan calendar ended.
They knew the stuff.
I think we should just do 2012.
Oh, I want to, but it's so long.
Yeah, but it's so poorly paced.
Anyway, I will say this is a poor pace thing. So he's trying to go steal the book. He's come back the next day and now he's stealing it. He steals it. There is the funniest sound effect ever. There's a lot of bumbling fat guards in this whole film. There's another one.
Mean.
It is cruel. It is cruel. But it was the 90s.
I saw myself in a lot of the guards. I really did. I would have fallen asleep on that chair. They're
Oh,
not
of
right
course.
to make fun of him.
Oh, God. But it fell apart so quickly.
I will say one of the jokes I quite liked in the movie at the beginning was the two guards watching and being like, it's recorded, and there's two of them walking about. I thought that was a good joke.
There's a lot of good
Like-
jokes. They're just not funny, but they
Yeah.
are good jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The idea of recording the wrong bit
Yeah.
that's the thing is it feels too serious that they've only recorded the chair that was meant to be broken and the two guards walking around. It should be like that they recorded like a clown like farting like rainbows, you know, and you're just like the clown
That's too
farted
much.
rainbows a while ago.
That's too blue. Okay, this film knows has some goddamn restraint.
Forgot. They clearly were like,
Carl.
there's so much money behind it. This movie needs to calm itself down.
Of course. Now let's get back to the calming down. Hudson Hawk paraglides out of the museum, hits a lamppost, bonks his head. We get another coconut sound. Falls into a bus. Bam! He falls into the date with Andy McDowell.
Oh,
He's like,
nice.
yeah, this is pretty cheeky.
It really is cracking. It's cracking.
It's cracking
through, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we're cracking.
Deciding to. It's the same thing that happened in that Night and Day movie where they just keep
The night and day one.
with Tom Cruise and Cameron
Oh,
Diaz.
Cameron! Wow.
And they
yeah.
keep just drugging Cameron Diaz, and it just changes the location.
Oh,
at
that's
the end of every
quite. I remember
scene.
that being kind of funny.
Yeah, and that's what I'm enjoying in this.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy that aspect of being
Yes.
like, what if the breaks were just so random
this?
and hard stops?
Yeah. The pacing is fast, as in things keep happening and the transitions are fluid, but it's not. So I don't know what they're doing here. God, it works. Anyway, Carl, we get up to where you came into.
Yeah, so this is where we get to find out what Richard E. Grant's plan is.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. The plan is they're going to destabilize the entire economy of gold, leave the world in ruin, and then just run it.
Yeah.
Pretty wacky plan.
Pretty wacky plan.
Like to destroy the world, essentially.
Yeah.
You feel like you would almost want to, because their depiction of what they think destabilizing gold will do is, frankly, they think it's going to ruin everything. And I'm like, why do you want to ruin everything just to run it?
I think.
Can't you just own a lot of gold?
No, because then it ruins the value of it. He's a bit wacky, this Richard E. Grant character is a bit wacky. That's fine. I'm all for his plan. He wants world domination. That's the main thing. Point one. And he's going to get that by destabilizing it. And I think he has a backup plan or like a private militia.
Yeah.
That's what he's got.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not fair.
I'm on his side.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm all for whatever's going to bring the movie to a close.
Oh, of course. Well, okay. That's a cruel comment to make. And
I mean it with all sincerity. I won't take it back. I'll say it again if need be. I don't care. Big reveal.
Yes.
Tommy's here.
Yeah.
Blew my mind that Tommy didn't come up once in the middle section.
The singing didn't come. You were like, because you walked in, the singing started happening, and Tommy was back. You're like, wow, I've missed a lot of Adventures with you guys. I'm going to tell you, Bruce Willis and the Chocolate Five were doing a lot of stuff, and he was robbing that place for a while.
Bruce Willis and the Chocolate Five.
The Chocolate Five.
Man, test audiences must have gone nuts. They were like, more of the Chocolate Five.
It's the almond joy of it all.
I think you would have been. Here's why I enjoyed the Chocolate Five.
Yeah.
The movie is so random and just throwing you about. When they were like, "My name is Kit Kat," I was like, oh, "I think I can latch onto." Like,
as in you
like
knew
I know
the
what,
item.
I was like, I know what a Kit Kat is. That just
And then they threw in an almond joy, and you're like, Jesus Christ!
They were like, oh, and I'm Butterfingers, and I was like, okay, these are words I know. These are things I can hold on to
Were
keep
you
me
watching
grounded
it in
here.
Spanish? What's going on, Carl? You're freaking out.
That's what it felt. That's what it felt. I was so disorientated. I was like, I haven't learned the names of any other characters other than Bruce Willis, who's Hudson Hawk, that I was like, oh thank God, people are introducing themselves. I can relate to what's going on now.
I maybe it is just not even nostalgia, but just because we've got such. I feel like such committee filmmaking at the moment. It's similar to like Avengers, where remember how it ended in, and everyone was in like in a big pink teddy suit club. Do you remember that? Everyone was in a colored teddy bear outfit, and the big fight was in those. I just think this misstep is endearing, and I quite love it. I quite love it. Anyway, Tony's back. Is
it Tony or Tommy?
It's Tommy. I think he's 5 Tommy.
What do we think he is?
I think it's Tommy.
I think it's Tommy because then he's a Tommy Hawk.
Yeah. That's clever.
Right?
Oh, is Hawk like the team?
I don't know.
And is he the Hudson of it all?
I believe it is a bird.
They do like Tommy's like, what do you have to do, Hudson? Why didn't you just join their side, either the Chocolate Five or Richard E. Grant's team? I don't know whose teams, I don't know whose alliances are, but Tommy pretty much goes, you should have sided with them. Hudson and him fights, it's fun. We then reveal that Tommy's been shot.
I was shocked to say the least.
Yeah.
But they don't hold it for long. He's fine.
It's a reveal that they tricked him, and now they've got the secret weapon that Tommy's alive. I'm going to be honest, Tommy's pretty useless. So.
Tommy sucks.
Yeah.
And again, he has no chemistry with Bruce Willis.
Oh, but then Andy McDowell and him meet for the first time, and they have even less. They have less.
Oh, that's actually a great call. No one has chemistry with anyone.
No.
When these three finally assemble, you go...
That's
wow,
an odd team.
That's our team.
Yeah.
They're all like, but we love you, Hudson. And I'm like, but do you?
Do you?
Would you?
Bruce Willis is doing this sort of wisecrack thing. I think he's too cool for this movie.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I feel like he's quite a cool person, or just like his like persona. So it's odd. He's almost taking a bit of a shit of it. Almost not. It's odd. Anyway.
You know what I will bring up? I've decided while watching it, I love a cat burglar.
I'm agreeing. Like an Oceans? Or
I just like specifically the second Oceans with that character.
Yeah.
Like I think I love not a team, but like there should be more cat burglar film. Like somebody who's so good and slick at being just a one person team at stealing.
Yeah.
I love that. I reckon we need to get away with like assembling teams and go back to that guy can do it on his own.
Oh, of course. You need a single person.
Remember Entrapment?
I've not seen Entrapment. What's Entrapment?
Sorry, I've never seen it either. But doesn't Catherine Zeta-Jones do that thing with the lasers?
When did the laser thing start? Maybe that's an earlier Oceans. You know
it's
what?
Entrapment.
You know what I'm thinking?
Of Entrapment?
Italian Job.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like Entrapment.
Okay, well then I'm out of Entrapment. I don't care. Anyway, the Chocolate Five find Tommy and Hudson Hawk. They're like, all right, I don't know whose side they're on. I think they're teamed up with Richard E. Grant. I don't know their motives, but they're like, great, we're going to freeze you. and you're going to be paralyzed. And that's the bit of the scene. And it's fun. I think it's fun. Are we in the scene? Are you loving the scene? Are you vibing the scene?
I can't place where in the movie you're talking
When
about.
they get frozen, it was very
Oh,
comical.
okay, yeah, when they get paralyzed.
Yeah.
I thought this is a fun concept, and I wish that their performances were doing more with it.
Yeah.
There's like a part where they're like, look, we already robbed the place, so we don't even need you now. And Tommy's like, can you flip the page so I can see the sports section? And I'm like, you're giving me nothing, Tommy. Like, that line could work from a good actor.
Yeah.
But like,
I think not it's improv, but it does feel like it was like, we've written this on the day. What do you think of you trying it? And they give it a go. They go, great. But also in the back of your actor's mind, you're kind of going, that ain't gonna make it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We've got a much stronger scene moments away, so I'll just get that out there, that's done, and then we'll move on. But no, that's the pivotal part of the scene, and we go, oh no. I will say the violence is great in this film.
I love the violence. Anytime somebody's dying, I think I was so surprised by the amount of
Yes.
violence. So that was it was very endearing, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It feels like it's a PG film, and then suddenly it'll have the most bombastic death. These guys get blown up. They jump out of the building. I'm loving it. Should we get to the finale?
I think so, because I think this is where it just really picks up.
Yes.
We get the singing again.
Yeah.
It's great to have the singing again.
We're at the Da Vinci Castle.
Yeah.
Did Da Vinci live in a castle?
Surely.
It's very Dracula-esque,
It's
isn't
where
it?
Jesus used to visit him.
Yeah, gotcha. When
He
he was
parted those
painting him.
seas, and I don't know what. I've never read a story.
Oh, you never read the best story? The
The
greatest
Shawshank
story.
Redemption?
The greatest story ever told.
I have read the Shawshank Redemption.
Greatest story ever told.
Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, not a big Bible head, huh? Not going to heaven vibes.
I
from this
watch.
guy.
I watch the clips on
The
YouTube
clips of the Bible
from the Bible.
Oh, dude, they're pretty good. In
Yeah.
TikTok form, the Bible is good.
That season 3 cliffhanger when he walked on water was whoa, huh? I was like, when did he learn to do that? Crazy. Whoa. Are we taking a stance on religion this episode?
I'll say it. Here's the thing: we're a classic odds couple. You hate religion. I love religion. As a matter of fact, I will murder for it. I'm kind of on a crusade at the moment.
And that's the thing. I'm all for murder, and you're against it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's an absolute. In terms of like our stance on things, muddled like
Yeah.
this film.
Very muddled.
Carl, let's get to the best ending that I think we've had on this podcast for a while.
Is there any way to... Well, I mean, we just had Cinderella's story. That really came together. It had that big famous speech.
I don't know if you're doing a bit, but I am completely blanked on.
When she's like, waiting for you is like waiting for rain in this drought.
Oh,
Useless and disappointing.
we have had some pretty good bangers, haven't we?
That was no joke. If somebody told you in our group of friends that ending of Cinderella's story is more famous than the ending of The Sixth Sense, that you'd believe it. Like you hear so much more about Cinderella's story than you do Bruce Willis being dead at the end of Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
We need new friends.
No, we do. It's getting vile. Carl, let's set the scene. The chocolate 3-ish, because 2 of them died,
Yeah.
are here at the castle. We've also got Richard E. Grant, the butler, and his wife. They've gone, right, we know how to do. We're going to make this lead into gold. Carl Hudson Hawk, the devil that he is, has not built the machine right. So now, the machine is going to work. Boiling lead throws up on his wife.
Yeah.
The wife is also fantastic. I absolutely love
Oh
the
yeah,
wife.
she's great.
Mavera,
Did we look up what she was in?
Madeira. She's in the new Babes movie. Have you seen any promos for that?
Babes.
Babes is the person with in Brooklyn, not Brooklyn,
Broadchurch?
No,
Broad City.
Broad City.
Yes, okay. cool.
Yes. And people are loving it.
Nice.
Yes, and she's in it. She's also in Zoolander. She's like a comedian actress. She's great. She's
Good.
vibing. She gets lead poured on her face. It's pretty gruesome. Richie Grant's like, Jesus Christ. He gets electrocuted. You
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah, I did. I was
Yeah.
like, they're going to have a buffoonish death.
Yeah.
For
And
the
it-
electricity.
And it was vile. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm in it. Then the butlers left. We're like, damn. We get a Bruce Willis fight scene with the butler. I'm loving it. Andy McDowell keeps shooting Bruce Willis.
She's
Comedy
like,
gold.
he's flat out like, just stop
Yeah.
helping.
She throws away the gun in a
Yeah.
great. God, she's funny.
Yeah.
Damn.
Andy McDowell is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Andy McDowell in anything I see her in.
Yeah.
She's great.
Really funny. Then we get this car scene at the end. Everyone's fighting everyone. Tommy's fighting the leader of the Chocolate Five. They drive off a cliff. we couldn't believe how this looks stunning.
It looks incredible. This car accident flying off a cliff. The flames are so long and cool. It looks fantastic. I just love. I thought that's where I was like, wow, the movie has too much money.
I like when it comes to like being like, wow, filmmaking is dead. I gotta tell you, if you throw a car off a cliff and put it on fire, I'm in.
And hold the shot for more than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's cinema.
Yeah.
Just hold the shot.
Back to the Future 3, those driving that train off that cliff. I love that. God. Why don't we surely have the budget for it? Just chuck some cars
Chuck more
off.
things off cliffs.
Yeah. That's all that re-film's for.
We should watch Cliffhanger.
Which was Cliffhanger.
The Sylvester Stallone. It's Die Hard on a cliff.
Oh, damn, that's great.
It's a great sell.
Okay.
It's so good.
That's huge.
You'd love it.
Tony dies though in this fiery death.
I was heartbroken. I had followed Tommy to the end. Unbeknownst to me, I had seen his entire character arc.
You really didn't miss
I missed
a second
I
of
missed
him.
30 minutes of the middle, and I still got everything his character had to give. I was with him from life until death, and he still didn't matter to anything or anyone. Tommy.
Carl, Bruce and Andy have killed everyone. Sadly, there's still this dog left. This dog
Gets a brutal death.
This might be wow. This has made the film, dare I say, a perfect film. Bruce Willis shoots a little tennis ball at this dog. He goes flying out of his window. Comedically, the largest wide I've ever seen. That's fucking fantastic. That's filmmaking. Chucking shit off cliffs. I'm all for it, okay? We go down to the end of the thing. They're like, they get blown up. They fly down the Da Vinci machine. You know, it's Andy and Bruce, but it's no Tommy.
It's no Tommy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tommy's back. This is where I loved this.
Yeah.
Tommy comes back and they're like, how'd you survive it? And he's like, sprinklers. And they're like, good enough. And they cheers. And then that's where it pulls out and it's a fairy tale. And the narrator closes the book. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
It cuts to this weird shot. It's the weirdest shot of Bruce Willis.
What is this camera they've used?
It's
It looks
so
like
bizarre.
It's so weird. It seems like it was behind the scene footage of Bruce Willis, and that's a wrap. Wink to the camera.
Yeah.
It's like he got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he got away. He was just like, I just wasted $80 million, winked at the camera and cheered, and we all went, you did waste it. You did waste it, Bruce.
Carl, who would watch Hudson Hawk?
It's sort of a tough one because I think the movie has some fun moments and I think it really finds its footing at the end. It's a shame. It's one of those things I can sort of see it growing in cult status.
I'm behind it as a cult film. I think the middle it doesn't. I feel like it only keeps ramping up what you've missed, even though it kind of breezed over it. I'm pretty much getting it. I don't know if they've worked out what they've done, but they've got something here, and it's fun. It's interesting.
I think if there was a clearer direction from the get-go, like probably
it would be fantastic.
it would be quite good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that that's not there.
The actual like fundamental filmmaking and the actual plot and the story and the characters, all that's not working at all. But there's little glimmers of hope, and you've really got to see it to like just all the little lines here. I mean, it's very stilted, but it all quite works. You know, it all quite works.
It all quite works?
Yeah.
Also, it works like occasionally.
I gotta tell you, 70% of this all works.
70%.
Some of the dialogue and the characters and the scenes and the editing and the camera work.
I think the thing is, I found it deeply hard to follow and track.
Give up.
Yeah.
Just give up. It's like Tenant rules, you know? You gotta just let it flow through you. You gotta just be like, nah, man, you can't follow it. You just gotta let it, you know. It doesn't even matter. They're getting 3 things. They're getting 3 MacGuffins. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'd say it's set pieces, but it's not.
I think it's the inability for anyone to just explain their actions or who others are. Like it's so everything is always, every scene begins with new characters you've never met entering a scene.
Oh, yeah.
They've all got ulterior motives to everybody else, and all of those ulterior motives have ulterior motives because it's a spy film. And then all those characters die anyway. And on top of that, somebody's there being like, that's Kit Kat, that's this one, that one's a chocolate bar, that one's Crunch. And you're just like, okay, crazy. And then they're just bonking and making sounds, and you're like, okay, you're twirling me around.
Oh, yeah.
Who's it for? You know, it's a real style of filmmaking I don't think they bother to do anymore, which is like, this is trying to do like a cartoon come to life.
Yeah.
Like a Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Or just if there was a cartoon character in this movie, that you'd go, yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody had told me they'd edited out a talking cartoon hawk named Hudson, and they had to rebrand it to being like Bruce Willis was called Hudson Hawk, I'd believe you. Like if you were like, wow, all the shots really do have a little bit of space on the right for a character to be there.
Yeah, we did watch this on like 16 by 16.
Yeah.
That was odd.
That's the tone it has, and I think it sometimes works and I think it sometimes doesn't. But it is really odd, and it's very Pink Panther-esque.
It's fun. I love this genre. It's a shame it hasn't picked up, because this is fun, right? This is fun filmmaking, and it's like the Austin Powers, but I think that's going for a bit more comedy. The genre of this, I really can't pick down, but I really like it.
The issue is also like the movie's asking for your patience to like settle into the world that it's crafted.
Yeah.
And its world is
it hasn't crafted it.
No.
It's stumbled into it.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the things that's really good about the substance.
Yeah.
Right? The substance is so surreal in the world that it's building. And you buy it, and it lets you know
it's just,
how heightened
it's
it is.
so well paced, not paced, but just it's like they're drip feeding you the nonsense. I think all the camera work is absolutely like assisting it. This one kind of feels pretty like standard.
It's shot like they were making a serious heist movie.
Yeah. Well, I was reading, because it's a good cinematographer, and I was like, that's odd. And then someone was like, it seems like it was a production nightmare. I think the cinematographer got fired.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, because some of the shots are nice, and then some of them are just
Look, I think if you want to enjoy like a swing to the fences, this is probably the type of movie for you. If you do enjoy the Pink Panther, this movie is probably going to have a sense of something to it.
I think if you're patient enough with it, you can get to it. I think the bombasticness, I was pretty chuffed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have finished the movie, do you think, if you'd stumbled onto it and you'd given it 20 minutes? Would you go, am I going to finish this?
No, I was a bit fearful at the start. I'm like, man, this is like a dry film. I think, what film was I watching? Oh, Mr. Magoo. Have you heard of this? Leslie Nielsen, like it's like the cartoon character. It's like a comic strip where he he's blind and that's it. Yeah. I thought it was that vibe. I'm like, because it's pretty one note and it's pretty like slapstick and it's dreadful. And I was like, fuck, is this the vibe? This one gets so bombastic by the end. I was in it, but I would turn it off. I would turn it off 100%.
This is what I imagine Mordecai is.
I totally thought this was Mordecai. Like, and you can see. I've not seen Mordecai. Have you seen it? I feel like
I've seen the trailer a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer a lot.
I think they keep going like, let's make that really silly, bombastic film that's like a spy thriller. And no one can get it, really. No one can get it. I guess Austin Powers might be the closest to it. But that feels a bit more sketchy.
Yeah, that's very SNL heavy. Like, it's very skitty. But then again, the scenes end with him being knocked out like a skit. So who's to say that this movie couldn't just be skitty as well?
Well, it works. All the other skits work by the end. It really exponentially gets better, I think.
It does. I would agree. It does get better as it goes along. I would recommend people watch it how I watched it. Skip the middle.
Yeah.
If you aren't enjoying the first 20 minutes, skip to the last 30 minutes. I reckon the last 30 minutes gives you all the information you've been needing to know the entire time. and you've missed half the characters being killed that were useless to the plot and confusing you anyway. That you could just sort of settle in and be like, wow, this movie's now not taking itself seriously at all.
Carl, thank you very much for watching Hudson Hawk. Holy shit, Carl. What's coming up tomorrow? Sorry.
Tomorrow.
Next week.
Wow.
Next week. Let me finish.
It's almost like these aren't live.
Yeah. Carl, but you know what? It's going to be live.
Whoa, what a reveal.
No.
It's not live.
It's not live.
Guys, we see you begging for it. People love a filler episode.
Yeah.
And it's our 4-year anniversary.
Holy shit.
So we will be doing something
For year. For you.
You.
For you. For you. For you.
We're
here for you.
Yeah. 4 years coming to an end.
That's right.
Opening up to a 5th.
We are killing. Oh yeah, no, fifth year. Put the gun down.
Do we want to do a 5th year?
Contractually, we are obligated.
Damn. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.